Hello and welcome back to our third video in our little mini-series. I'm Brian Berkowitz out of New York City, commercial real estate photographer, architectural photographer, retail space photographer, a little bit of everything. I'm here with my buddy Rich out of Sacramento, California. What's going on, Rich?
Yeah, Brian, and thanks everybody again for staying with us, hanging with us to go through this process before we fully release our real estate photography courses,
Sure.
commercial real estate photography and residential. And I'm the residential end of this, and I do pretty much all the things that Brian's doing, maybe not at the degree or the commitment that he's doing with commercial photography, but I do real estate photography, and that's been my forte is to help people to be successful in real estate photography. Because how fun is it to be a real estate photographer? I mean, we get paid for it,
Yeah.
good money. Anyway, well, listen, one thing we haven't talked about in our other two videos, we've discussed why you should watch our videos, what we've got to offer, and why you should listen to us as authoritarians, good people in the business that know how to help people. And we have got a lot of stories and replies and feedback from our students and our friends and people that we've helped over the years to be successful, because that's the bottom line: be successful, enjoy what you do. But Brian, tell us what either one or two, tell us a little story about somebody that has given you feedback and you've watched somebody go from learning or wherever and to being successful and letting you know you help them.
Sure. So I'm actually going to bring up a story about our friend Sam Chen, who's been on the podcast many times before, and so it's not someone that I directly helped with commercial real estate, but it goes to what I'm going to tell you about goes to show you what kind of success you can bring in commercial real estate to your business. So going back about 2 years ago at PFRE, actually in 2019, Sam and I were at a bar having a drink, and he started telling me that he started speaking to the executive director of Cushman Wakefield in San Diego. And for those who aren't familiar, Cushman Wakefield is, I think, in the top 5 commercial real estate agencies in the country. And his local region, I always talk about how, there's always a little luck involved in everything we do in business. And you mentioned it in one of our previous videos. Sam, by a stroke of good luck, ended up shooting the personal home for residential real estate of the executive director of Cushman Wakefield. And they got to talking, and I think at the time, and I might be wrong, and if I am wrong, Sam, you can text me and tell me I'm wrong. But if I am wrong, I don't think at the time Sam had shot any commercial real estate. He was strictly doing residential at the time. So he started asking me about it because he knew I was doing commercial, and he has ways to approach it and what I should look for and all that. So, I gave him any advice I could at that point, and he ended up shooting for them at that time. And I had a conversation with him this week about it. He actually still does shoot for Cushman Wakefield 2 years later. And I asked him about what type of money he's seen in that stuff versus the residential stuff he's been shooting. And he gave me an example of a property, because he does a lot of drone work, as you know, Rich, and some other people may or may not know. Sam is very big on the drone, and he does, for commercial real estate, majority of his work, he said about 80 to 90% of his work is exteriors and drone. And, he charges in the 4-digit range to go and set up on a property on a shoot. And he got hired recently to do a job, and there were 6 buildings that he needed to photograph over the course of the day as part of the one job. So he went around, I think it was the campus of a college or an office building company, I don't know, whatever it was. He had to cover 6 buildings. He went around, it took him about 2 to 3 hours to shoot the exteriors of the 6 buildings, and about 2 to 3 hours to edit everything and put everything together. And he said at the end of the day, with all his time put in and what he delivered and charged, it came out to him roughly making about $1,000 per hour for his work. So, it's someone, I just thought that was a great story because it's someone who came strictly from a residential background, started doing commercial. He's not doing exclusively commercial, but brought commercial real estate into his services that he's offering. And not every job is like this, but the potential is there for you to go out and do jobs and literally be making $1,000 an hour to do these type of shoots, which is insane type of money for real estate photography.
Yeah, and if you know Sam, you know the caliber and the he shoots huge, really multi-million dollar homes and businesses. But you know what? Don't think of yourself that you can't do it as well. You're not going to be doing maybe the same scope, same clientele, but all of these things you're learning are going to be transferable no matter who you are and no matter where you live. Because I always say, no matter where you live in a small town, you'll go, oh, nobody would ever pay that. Somebody in your town, I guarantee you, is making good money doing photography, and there's no reason that you can't be that person.
Sure. So what do you got for us? You got any good stories to tell?
Well, I got. I hate to say it because it almost sounds, elaborated, exaggerated. But I remember going to the PFRE conference in Vegas last year. It's photography for real estate, and then we had 300 photographers, real estate photographers there. And I probably knew and had probably firsthand met maybe 20 of the photographers, which is more than most people ever get to meet. But I met so many people that came up to me at the conference. And for one, they may have come, this was before COVID, they come right up to me without saying, you don't know me, Rich, and he'd give me a big hug or give me a big fist bump or whatever. But Rich, you've helped me to be successful with your YouTube channel. And I had no idea. And I must have had 200 people I did not know come up to me cold. And I didn't say everybody come up to me and meet Rich Baum. I just was shocked how many people I was able to touch. And when I say I change lives, I don't want to sound like that because it's just real estate photography. But I have changed lives. I know for a fact because I've gotten way too many people sending me messages that the techniques and the things that I am teaching have changed their lives because it's made them more successful. It's given them more time. They've left their day job to do real estate photography, and it has just led them to where they are now. And I've got one specific friend, and he is a friend because I've met him, I've spent time with, and I've watched him over the last 6 years now. I think it's 6 years ago. A guy named Nima Mohammadi. And Nima is really a stellar case, in my opinion, of somebody coming from another country, being able to be successful, and not only successful, but being really good, love it. And I follow him and see how his family's doing, how his wife's doing. He has taken his real estate photography he called me 6 years ago and said, hey, Rich, I offered to give a little bit of help, not paid, not part of my YouTube channel, not part of my coaching. I just wanted to talk. I like talking to people. It's just who I am. And I helped him to understand and to get going and moving on the trajectory to becoming successful. And now Nima has multiple photographers working with him, under him, doing incredible stuff. He has really blossomed and bloomed. And I will take a little bit of credit and it's really warms my heart that I can help people. Because you know what? If we can all do that in life, help somebody. And again, it's just real estate photography. I'm not Mother Teresa. I'm the Mother Teresa of real estate photography. But no, I love what I do. And to just see the feedback and to literally have people from the bottom of their heart to come to me to say, send me testimonials to say, hey, Rich, you've just helped me. I mean, I get blown away by this. And I just think that I'd like to help you too. And you too, Brian. I mean, gosh, everybody can implement these strategies and these things we're doing easily. And it all makes sense, which is one thing that a lot of videos don't do. You walk away going, I'm more confused now than I was before. But I believe that you'll be sending us testimonials saying, hey, Brian and Rich, thank you for helping me to be successful, being able to shoot better, get better clients, enjoy your life, make more money, get better clients, and just enjoy your life and spend the time and the money on what you want. Okay.
Cool. Well said. I'm going to ask you one final question. I'm going to put you on the spot again because I did that in the first video we released, and you're so good at it. There are other courses out there, and I know your course is geared towards beginners or maybe intermediate. Definitely not for the maybe I'm wrong. Maybe not for the advanced shooter, but I think that more towards the beginner to intermediate side of things. Why is your course different than some of the other courses out there? And for me personally, I'll tell you what I think, and then you can tell me from the inside. I mean, I just think your way of teaching and educating is different than anybody else out there. And that's obvious just from your YouTube channel and from the amount of people that follow you and want to learn from you, and from the amount of coaching students you do and the success you've had, your style of teaching and your way of, I don't want to call it dumbing it down, but the way of making things so simple for people to understand is what makes you successful. But you tell me or pitch me why is your course different than some of the other stuff that's out there?
Yeah, I'm really, really glad you brought that up because, and you did touch upon the key point I believe has been my success in the education process. Because for me, I think getting long in the tooth in this business and in business in general, I'm going to move even more towards education. But I do believe, and I know because I've had way much that didn't make sense. I've got a lot of testimonials and feedback from people saying, Rich, you're just helping me. You take off the pressure. You make it easy to understand. You make it easy to internalize these concepts where I will say Photoshop and layering and lighting, it is tricky and it can be intimidating for people. But I want people, I've said it before, man, everybody can do this. It isn't the most difficult thing in the world. A good teaching process, though, is key. And I believe myself, I'm really proud of just the way my videos are not super flashy. I will say I'm really proud of this course because it looks great. It is first class. The editing, the technical ends of it, the organization, everything is first class. So that's one thing I'm really excited about these courses. And but it is really, I think, just my ability to look at a person as a friend, somebody that's easy to talk to. And I try to have fun. And I know if you've watched me, it's a little different than other people because you know what? I want to have fun with this. I don't want to be too serious. As far as the other courses, I can't speak for the other courses. I'm by no means trying to put down or comment on any of them. I think all courses, especially the ones of my colleagues that you all know out there, and you too, Brian, I think that they're all educational and you can take away something from every course. But I believe the way the instructor lays it out and can really make these photographers successful in internalizing all these concepts and going, I get it. That's what it's all about. And I think you're going to feel the same way. And as far as, not for the advanced photographer, I believe that I do specialize and focus. Now, I do high-end stuff. I do everything everybody else is doing out there. But what I teach is real estate photography. I do design, commercial, everything. But I want to teach people, and I'm not trying to say you got to get out there and shoot design because some people don't want to. If you do, that's great. But for me, just to get out there and understand and enjoy it and be successful because you understand all these things, that's key. And I believe I'm the guy to do it for you. So I'm really proud of how I built up my educational process and how I've really been able to have people connect and get it.
Yeah. And I think what's going to be key for us is also our accessibility. I think when people have questions, we're obviously
Facebook group. We haven't mentioned
we're going to have our own Facebook group for anyone who purchases the course. But one thing that we want to plan on doing And hopefully it all works out that we can do it, is having monthly roundtable discussions, whether it's via Zoom or via Facebook rooms, where you're not just posting a question on our Facebook group and waiting for responses, where, a lot of us like-minded individuals can come online and we can all get into a chat, and, Rich, you and I will be there, and people can ask us questions, and we can just get into a conversation for a half hour, an hour, and just, help people fix their problems, give them advice on what they need. People can give us advice if I have questions, because, we're all running businesses. I have situations, Rich and you and I speak all the time, where you're like, what's your opinion on this? And I say the same thing to you. It's good to just bounce ideas off people when you're having a business. So I think it's going to be key as our accessibility and people to follow up what we teach with speaking to us directly and answering their questions to help them on their personal photography journey. So,
yeah. And I will, I think we've played this last third video out and given some information on these 3 videos. And I want to say another thing you can trust, if you entrust Brian and I to help you to be successful, is our reliability. We've been there for you. I've been there for everybody for 8 years. And I don't know how many other people can say that. There's a few other photographers that have been doing regular videos, regular education for that long. But I will say that, I've learned one thing. There ain't anybody else out there that's been doing a real estate photography podcast religiously and reliably for three years. I was going to say something else, but for 3 years.
We're almost at 4, just shy of 4.
We're there for you. And these things, we're going to do follow-up videos. We are going to do our Facebook group. We're going to do chats, things like that. This is all value added. And that's a big part of these courses, is to be there. We're not just giving you a course and we're taking your money. We're going to be there to give back and give more. And you're going to tell your friends, hey, check out these videos, because there's so much more. And it's all, again, laid out really well. We're super proud of these videos, and we're putting the final touches on them for our release. But trust me, it is something that is going to be encompassing and is going to answer all your questions. And we're there for you continuing after the release of the video.
Yeah. And we're going to follow, we're releasing on December 1st. We're just a few days away. We're going to follow up this video with a video on December 1st, that morning, with a special offer, a launch offer. So everybody just make sure that they keep an eye on their emails or our Facebook page, wherever, the morning of the 1st, if you're interested in taking a look at what our course is about. The offer is only going to be available for 5 days, and then we go back up to regular price. So everyone just keep an eye on the email in the next couple of days. December 1st, we're going to send it out, and we're going to give people an offer if they're interested in it. And if they're not, they can take a look at what we're doing and what we're putting out there, and see if that's something they think can help transform their business. So.
Yeah. Okay. And as I've said before, it's kind of like a theme. But I really feel strongly about this. Seriously, guys out there, if we can do it, you can do it. It is something that is not magic. It is not something that only certain people can do. You can do it. And we're going to lay it out there for you and help you to be successful, because that's the bottom line. And enjoy what you do, because if you enjoy, I don't know about you, Brian, I do know you, but I'm just going to say, I love photography, and the fact that I get to do it for a living is unbelievable. And I pinch myself. Well, I don't really do it every day, but I say I pinch myself every day, because we're so lucky to do this. And I want to thank you for bringing me on as a podcast partner all those years ago. And this is together. This is like the not the finale, but the crescendo of what Shooting Spaces and what we are all about. So I really want you to check it out, and I'm sure you're not going to be disappointed, and it's going to be well worth your time and well worth your money.